The 1980 Philippine 25 Sentimo coin belongs to the Bagong Lipunan coin series, a significant set of coins in the history of the Philippines that reflected not only economic changes but also the political climate of the late 1970s and early 1980s. This series was introduced under the presidency of Ferdinand E. Marcos during the martial law era, and the coins carried the phrase Bagong Lipunan, meaning the new society. This phrase was central to the administration's political propaganda, aiming to symbolize a reformed and disciplined nation under the so-called New Order. The coin was minted by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP, and struck primarily in copper nickel. Its diameter was around 19 millimeters, and its weight approximately 2.5 grams with a reeded edge. The obverse featured the portrait of Juan Luna, a celebrated Filipino painter, sculptor, and political activist. Luna was a key figure in Philippine history for his artistic achievements and his role in the propaganda movement during the Spanish colonial era. His most famous painting, Spoliarium, won the gold medal at the 1884 Madrid Exposition of Fine Arts, symbolizing the Filipino struggle for dignity and freedom. On the obverse side, around the portrait, you would find the Republica ng Pilipinas, Republic of the Philippines, at the top and the year of minting at the bottom. In this case, 1980, the reverse of the coin displayed the denomination 25 Sentimo and prominently featured the Bagong Lipunan inscription, along with the official seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines. The 1980 issue falls in the middle of the ABL coinage period 1975 to 1982. During this time, the Philippine economy was experiencing a mixture of development projects and rising foreign debt. The coins of this period were also meant to project national pride by showcasing notable Filipino heroes, historical figures, and symbols. The 25 Sentimo was the smallest of the mid-range denominations in circulation, bridging the gap between the lower value centavo coins and the higher value Piso coins. The mintage for the 1980 25 Sentimo was relatively high, meaning it was widely circulated. However, because of inflation during the late 1970s and early 1980s, its purchasing power was modest. In urban areas, 25 Sentimo could buy a small snack, a jeepney fare supplement, or a basic household item. Over time, as prices rose sharply in the following decade, the coin's everyday usefulness diminished, leading to its eventual demonetization in the early 1990s. As stock collectors today see the 1980 25 Sentimo as part of an important historical chapter in Philippine numismatics. While circulated examples are common and have little monetary value, uncirculated or proof-like pieces, especially those with strong luster and minimal handling marks, can be desirable for building a complete ABL series set. Coins preserved in mint state can command a premium among collectors. Focusing on martial law era coinage, 1980, the Philippines had been under martial law for 8 years. President Ferdinand Marcos had declared it in 1972, claiming it was to stabilize the nation, curb crime, and address communist insurgency. But it also centralized power and gave his government complete control over many aspects of life, including the currency. 1975, the government launched the Bagong Lipunan ABL coinage, replacing the previous Filipino series coins. The ABL series was more than a monetary reform, it was a deliberate political statement. By inscribing Bagong Lipunan on every coin, the Marcos administration was making sure that every Filipino would be reminded daily of the new society vision. Whenever they use money, 1980 25 Sentimo coin features Juan Luna for a reason. Luna was a hero in both art and patriotism. His works inspired national pride, and his political stance during the propaganda movement made him a symbol of Filipino courage against colonial rule. Including Luna on the 25 Sentimo coin allowed the regime to connect itself with nationalist values. This was a subtle but effective propaganda move, using respected heroes from the past to give legitimacy to the current leadership. 1980 25 Sentimo still had some buying power, especially outside big cities. It could get you a small cup of ice water or sagot, gulaman sweet drink, a piece of bread like pandesal, jeepney fare adjustments for short routes, elementary school snacks like banana Q or fish balls. But inflation was slowly eating away at that power. By the late 1980s, 25 Sentimo was barely used for purchases, mostly for change-making purposes. The coin was mass-produced in the government mint in Quezon City. Its copper-nickel composition made it durable. ensuring it could last many years in circulation. Most coins from 1980 show heavy wear, which is proof of how actively they were used. Collectors, note that 1980 pieces are easier to find compared to earlier ABL years like 1975 or 1976. However, finding them uncirculated is much harder because few people in 1980 thought of setting aside 25 Sentimo as a collectible. The early 1990s, the ABL coins were being phased out in favor of the Flora and Fauna series. This was part of an effort to modernize designs and remove overt political slogans from currency. The 1980-5 Sentimo was officially demonetized on January 2, 1998, meaning it was no longer legal tender after that date. Circulated condition. Very low market value around face value or slightly above. 1980 25 Sentimo. Coin is more than just small change, it's an artifact from an era of intense political control, strategic nationalistic imagery, and a shifting economy. For historians, it's a silent witness to the everyday life of Filipinos under martial law. For collectors, it's a key piece in completing an A&E Bagong Lipunan set telling the story of a turbulent yet defining chapter in Philippine history. This coin was part of the Flora and Fauna series, which was introduced in 1983 by the Central Bank of the Philippines, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, to replace the A&E Bagong Lipunan, ABL series that had been circulating since the mid-1970s. During this period, the Philippine government was moving away from the imagery and slogans of the martial law era, shifting toward designs that celebrated the nation's cultural and natural heritage. The Flora and Fauna series was the perfect embodiment of this vision. Rather than showing political leaders on every denomination, the series highlighted Philippine national heroes on the obverse and native plants or animals on the reverse, symbolizing unity, national pride, and environmental richness. The 198350 Sentimo coin specifically featured Marcela Marico Agoncillo on the obverse. She is famously known as the principal seamstress of the first official Philippine flag, alongside her daughter Lorenza and Delfina Herbosa de Natividad. By placing her image on the coin, the government paid tribute to the often overlooked contributions of women in the struggle for independence. Her determined look on the coin is a reminder of the sacrifices made during the revolution against Spain in the late 19th century. The reverse side depicted a stylized wailing band of Sanderiana, a rare and beautiful orlighted the country's rich biodiversity and its need for preservation, at a time when environmental awareness was beginning to take root in policy discussions. Minted in copper nickel, the coin measured 24 millimeters in diameter and had a smooth edge, making it easy to distinguish by feel from smaller denominations. The choice of copper nickel was due to its durability and resistance to corrosion, important qualities in tropical climates like the Philippines. The coin bore the year 1983 at the bottom, marking its inaugural issue within the Flora and Fauna series. The early 1980s were a turbulent time for the Philippine economy, marked by political unrest, rising debt, and economic slowdown. Despite these challenges, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas pushed forward with modernizing coin designs and improving minting standards. The Flora and Fauna series was a symbol of continuity and resilience, aiming to instill national pride despite hardships. The 1983-50 Sentimo circulated widely in markets, jeepney fairs, sari-sari stores, and everyday commerce. At the time, it could still buy a piece of bread, a local candy, or a jeepney. The Philippine 1 Piso coin from 2015 is part of the new generation currency and GC coin series, officially released by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP on December 2013. This coin was created to modernize the country's coinage system, improve security features, and refresh the national symbols depicted on Philippine money. The 2015 issue is one of the widely circulated years for this series. The obverse side of the 2015 1 Piso coin features José Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, who symbolizes patriotism, intellect, and reform. His profile faces left, continuing the tradition of earlier Piso coins. The inscription, Republica ng Pilipinas, Republic of the Philippines above, the year 2015 at the bottom, mint mark BSP to signify it was minted under the authority of the Central Bank. The BSP logo updated in 2010, representing stability, integrity, and trust in the Philippine financial system. The denomination 1 Piso boldly displayed. Security micro-engraving and detailed relief work to deter counterfeiting. The 20151 Piso coin came at a time when the BSP was actively replacing older coins from the 1995 BSP Coin Series. These older coins had simpler security features and were easier to counterfeit. The NGC coins, including the one Piso 2015, were designed with better durability and updated designs that aligned with the BSP's new branding. 2015 was also significant because it was part of the BSP's continuous campaign to educate the public about the importance of familiarizing themselves with new coins to avoid confusion in transactions. It was one of the years before the transition to the new generation Currency NGC Coin Series enhanced version. In 2018, where designs and metals changed again, José Rizal's presence on the coin reflects the Philippines' deep respect for his contributions to independence and nation building. Having him on the most used coin in daily life was a deliberate decision so that every Filipino, whether buying bread, paying for transportation, or giving change, would see a reminder of their national identity. The 2015 1 Piso coin is not considered rare in normal circulated condition as millions were minted for public use. However, uncirculated coins or those in brilliant mint state are of interest to collectors. Coins with minting errors, misaligned strikes, double dies, wrong blankets can be valuable, fetching higher prices in numismatic markets. The 20151 Piso coin is sometimes mistaken for the older 5 Piso coin by foreign visitors because of its similar silvery look and size. Many Filipinos noticed that the NGC coins were lighter and shinier than the old ones, which made them easier to identify in loose change. In street markets, the 1 Piso coin remains one of the most important units for small daily transactions, making it a coin almost every Filipino touches every day. The early 2010s, the Philippines was still using the 1995 BSP Coin Series, which had been in circulation for almost 2 decades. Over time, these coins became tarnished, easier to counterfeit, and lacked the modern security features now expected of currency. The BSP decided to launch an entirely new set of coins, introducing fresh designs and improved minting technology. The NGC series was officially unveiled in December 2013. The 1 Piso coin in this series was particularly important because it was one of the most heavily used denominations in daily transactions, whether in jeepney fares, sari-sari store purchases, or small market exchanges. 2015 coin's obverse side proudly features José Rizal, the Philippines' national hero. Rizal's choice for the 1 Piso denomination was deliberate. The BSP wanted his face to be the most commonly seen by Filipinos, keeping his ideals of reform, education, and patriotism alive in daily life. Fields and precise lettering, designed to resist counterfeiting, lower production costs compared to pure nickel. It weighs about 6 grams and measures 24 millimeters in diameter with a smooth edge. Millions of these coins were minted in 2015. To meet the demands of the Philippine economy, they were distributed nationwide through banks, retailers, and government institutions, ensuring a steady replacement of older Piso coins. In everyday Filipino life, the 1 Piso coin is indispensable. Whether paying for a tricycle ride, buying street food like fish balls, or giving change at the wet market, the coin passes through countless hands daily. Its durability ensures it can survive years of circulation. Beyond its role as currency, the coin serves as a daily reminder of the country's history. For school children, it's often the first coin they learn to identify. For vendors, it's a crucial part of exact change. For collectors, it's a gateway into the rich field of Philippine numismatics. When the NGC series entered circulation, many Filipinos initially confused the 1 Piso coin with older coins, especially because it was smaller and shinier than its predecessor. The BSP launched information campaigns to educate the public about recognizing the new designs. Many countries placed national heroes on their most used coins. George Washington on the US quarter, Mahatma Gandhi on Indian rupees, just as the Philippines honors Rizal on the Piso. Many Filipinos welcomed the 2015 coin for its fresh look, but some criticized its small size and similarity to other denominations. Despite this, it quickly became a familiar part of everyday transactions. José Rizal's placement on the 1 Piso coin reinforces his role as a unifying figure. His writings, particularly Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, sparked movements for reform that eventually led to Philippine independence. By putting him on a coin millions see daily, the BSP honors his enduring influence. While common now, the 2015 issue could become more collectible over time, especially once the NGC series is replaced. The 1 Piso denomination itself, however, had existed since the Spanish colonial period, when the silver peso was the primary trade coin. Over time, it transitioned through American colonial coinage, the Japanese occupation issues during World War II, and the post-independence coin series. The mid-1990s, the Banco Central ng Pilipinas (BSP) sought to modernize coin designs for both aesthetic appeal and practicality. In 1995, the BSP series was launched, and the 1 Piso coin was heroes on coins, reinforced patriotism, and unified designs under the central bank's new seal. 2010 version of the 1 Piso coin followed the standard BSP series template introduced in 2003, which featured a sharper, cleaner engraving of Rizal's portrait and a refined BSP seal. This version was minted during a period when coins were being mass-produced to meet high demand due to a growing population and cash-driven economy. José Rizal, 1861 to 1896, was chosen for the 1 Piso coin not just for his role as a national hero, but also because he symbolizes intellect, reform, and the peaceful pursuit of independence. Rizal's inclusion on the most common Philippine coin ensures that every citizen, from the countryside to the cities, regularly sees his image reinforcing his enduring legacy. 2010 coin was made of nickel-plated steel, replacing the pure copper-nickel alloys of earlier decades. This change reduced production costs, while ensuring that the coin could withstand years of handling without corroding. The choice of nickel-plated steel also gave the coin a bright silver color, making it visually distinct from lower denominations. The obverse carries the inscription, Republica ng Pilipinas above Rizal's portrait, affirming national sovereignty. Below the portrait, his name José Rizal is inscribed, making the coin a constant educational reminder of who he was. The year 2010 at the bottom indicates the minting date, important for collectors tracking year-specific designs. The reverse design features the BSP seal, adopted in 1993 when the central bank was rechartered. The seal includes a sun and 3 stars, symbols of the Philippine flag, and stylized images, representing stability and growth. The large 1 Piso denomination is centered prominently for instant recognition, crucial for quick transactions in busy markets and public transport. 2010, inflation was relatively low, and the 1 Piso coin still had notable purchasing power. It could buy individual candy. The 25 Sentimo denomination has existed in Philippine coinage for over a century, evolving through Spanish, American, and independent Philippine eras. The earliest quarter centavo coins appeared under American colonial rule in the early 1900s, though back then they were made of copper nickel and carried designs of liberty and the Filipino laborer. By the time the Philippines gained full independence in 1946, the 25 Sentimo was already an established small denomination in the national currency. The Philippine peso underwent several design changes in the mid to late 20th century. In the 1960s, coins were still quite large and often made from more valuable metals, but inflation and practical usage gradually pushed designs toward smaller, lighter coins. The 25 Sentimo became a staple for everyday transactions, especially in public markets and transport fares. 1995, the Banco Central ng Pilipinas (BSP) launched the BSP Coin Series, which included a brass-colored 25 Sentimo featuring Juan Luna, the famous Filipino painter and revolutionary. This series became the backbone of Philippine coinage for nearly 2 decades. But by the early 2010s, the coins had begun to lose their luster and were prone to discoloration, making them harder to recognize. In the early 2010s, the BSP began research into a new generation currency and GC coin series. The goals were to the 2015 25 Sentimo introduced a stylized Philippine flag sun on the obverse, replacing historical portraits. The year of minting appears below, with the denomination boldly stated. This design choice reflects modernism, but still ties to the 1896 Philippine Revolution, whose spirit is embodied in the 8 rays of the sun. The reverse design places the Banco Central ng Pilipinas logo at the center, signifying the institution's role in safeguarding the economy. Surrounding it is the inscription, Republica ng Pilipinas, reaffirming national identity. Unlike the brass-bladed steel of older coins, the 2015 version uses nickel-plated steel. This change gives the coin a silver appearance, extends its lifespan, and makes it more resistant to tarnish from daily handling, important in a tropical climate like the Philippines. At 20 millimeters in diameter and weighing 2.5 grams, the 2015 25 Sentimo is light, yet distinct enough for tactile recognition. The smooth edge is a practical choice for small denominations, differentiating it from larger coins with reeded edges. 2015 inflation had reduced the coin's buying power, but it remained crucial for exact change in jeepneys, tricycles, buses, and sari-sari stores. For commuters and small vendors, the 25 Sentimo still helped round off transactions. When first introduced, the 2015 25 Sentimo and its NGC siblings drew mixed reactions. Some welcomed the clean, modern look, others missed the portraits of national heroes. Over time, however, the public adapted and the coin became part of everyday commerce. While it holds little numismatic premium today in circulated coins, the 25 Sentimo coin from the Philippines, minted in 2015, is a small yet fascinating piece of modern Filipino numismatic history. It belongs to the new generation BSP Coin Series, a set of redesigned coins released by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP) to enhance security features, improve durability, and modernize the nation's currency. By the early 2010s, Philippine coins from the 1995 BSP Coin Series had been circulating for nearly 2 decades. Over time, many coins suffered from wear, counterfeiting attempts, and reduced public recognition due to tarnishing. In 2014, the BSP began introducing the NGC Coin Series in phases, and the 2015 25 Sentimo was part of the initial rollout. The front of the 2015 25 Sentimo coin prominently features the stylized Philippine flag's sun, an iconic national emblem with 8 rays representing the 8 provinces that first revolted against Spanish rule in 1896. Above it is the denomination 25 Sentimo in bold lettering, with the year 2015 at the bottom. Unlike earlier series that carried portraits of Filipino heroes, the NGC coins embraced a modern minimalist design, symbolizing a forward-looking nation while honoring traditional elements. On the reverse, the coin bears the text Republica ng Pilipinas encircling the upper rim, along with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP logo at the center. The BSP logo reflects the country's monetary authority and its commitment to economic stability. The 2015 25 Sentimo is made of nickel-plated steel, giving it a silvery appearance and making it resistant to corrosion, an upgrade from the brass-colored earlier versions. It is small and lightweight, with a diameter of 20 millimeters and a weight of 2.5 grams. Economic and circulation context. In 2015, the Philippine economy was experiencing steady growth with increasing demand for small denomination coins for public transport fares, small retail purchases, and traditional markets. However, inflation over the years meant that the 25 Sentimo had relatively low purchasing power, often used in combination with other coins, rather than for single transactions. While not highly valuable in terms of face value, the 2015 25 Sentimo holds a certain cultural charm. Many Filipinos recognize it for its simplicity, and coin collectors appreciate it as part of the first full, modernized coin series of the 21st century in the Philippines. Since it is still in circulation, most 2015 25 Sentimo coins hold only their face value unless they are uncirculated, in mint condition, or part of an NGC coin set. Over time, pristine specimens, especially first-year mintages, may gain modest collectible value. The 2015 25 Sentimo marks a transitional phase in Philippine coinage, bridging the gap between traditional designs featuring heroes and the ultra-modern 2018 NGC Enhanced Coin Series, which further refined the metallic composition and security features.